the anchorage outside Jolly Harbor since yesterday, and it's just been absolutely blowing 30 knots sustained for all last night and into today. And this is actually something that cruisers do have to deal with, believe it or not. Like, you think that you want wind all the time, but you really kind of, it can be too much. And so, especially when you're at anchor, it's just, you know, just no fun. All night long we could hear the boat, you know, yawing back and forth against the snubber, which is the line that goes down to the chain so that the tension of the chain doesn't get transmitted directly to the windlass, which isn't really designed to take that kind of sustained force. So you basically have a chain hook and a line that goes to a cleat. And, you know, I worry about that snubber a lot because it takes such a beating. And in fact, it's kind of on the list of things to replace because or at least upgrade the line on, because we've had it since we got the boat. I really haven't done anything with it. And it's held strong. It's a good, I think it's a 14 mil polyester line, good quality Marlowe line, but still. But check this out. I mean, this is what we're looking at. Show the other side where you can see the chain come off to the side. So the reason the boats yaw the way they do on the chain like this is because the weight of the chain pulls the boat forward, and once it's forward, the wind catches the bow and blows it off to one side. It usually goes back one side to the other. Keeping the wheel locked midships is good. That kind of helps a little bit, but as long as the bow loosens up in the wind, then it'll catch it and move it off. So we do kind of deal with that. Some boats are better than others in that regard, but our boat, because the bow likes to blow off the wind anyway, if we're beamed to the wind, the bow likes to blow downwind. It just always wants to do that. So it's, you know, luckily there's no giant swells here. I mean, that's the big thing. What we're dealing with right now is just whitecaps, but it's shallow water. We have like a meter under the keel, and it's a sand bottom, so we have great holding. And if our chain broke or something, we would just float out to sea. Honestly, there's nothing out there other than the Gulf of Mexico. So anyway, we'll that's that for the moment.
Windy.
St. John's Harbor. It's going to clear out. It is blowing north of 30 for steady at 30, 35. Yes, skipper Wendy getting wet.
Getting wet, baby.
She's like Captain Wendy now.
Captain Wendy to you, sir. Is it red right returning here or red left returning here?
You tell me.
Oh no! If I make the wrong choice, we'll die.
Well, we're on our way to St. Maarten. It's kind of early in the morning. We left at 4 o'clock in the morning from St. John's in Antigua. We had to clear out the day before, and that turned into screwed up situation because the people wanted to close at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, saying that the curfew started at 6 and they had to get home. And I'm like, what? It takes 4 hours to get home. But whatever. They closed at 2, and we were there at 1:30. But they ran us through this health protocol thing. And by the time we were done with that, the lady was like, "Well, I'm already packed up and leaving." And we kind of went a little crazy about the whole thing, and they came around and said, okay, they got the stamps back out and everything else. I think they realized that if we made enough of a fuss about it, that somebody was going to get in trouble. They weren't supposed to leave early. But anyway, be that as it may, we're on our way now, and we've got pretty good wind. We're seeing we're doing about 8 knots speed over ground right now. I think we get a little push from the current. and it's going to be a 12 to 14 hour passage to St. Maarten, Dutch Sint Maarten. So here's what we're seeing right now. You know, here's Antigua. You can see all of our, the red dots around the island are just all the waypoints of places that we've been. But this is us leaving, and if we follow our track past St. Bart's, we'll end up here in St. Maarten. So that's our next waypoint. Actually, it's pretty much right off the coast of St. Maarten. And so it should be a good run. We're seeing 25, 26 knot apparent wind, sometimes down to the 20s, 6 on the Beaufort scale, so things are good. And here we can see our speeds. We're doing 7 knots speed through water, and in the 8s sometimes for speed over ground. That's the GPS number. Speed over ground is GPS. And we got 78% on our batteries. Lots of water and fuel. So everything's good. You know, we started the day as usual when we were going to do a big passage. We just did a complete check of the boat, checked the oil on the engine, checked the coolant, checked belts, just made sure that we had everything going. We recharged the batteries as much as we could with the generator before we left, because we'll be using the autopilot the whole way, and it draws I don't know, 6 amps or something. Anyway, it's good passage so far. I mean, the wind angle is such that we're really not feeling, you know, like the boat's under any type of duress. It's just cruising along, and it loves the sail angle, so we're good. A little bit rolling. It's kind of a funky angle for the swells at the moment. Seas are a bit confused too. But generally speaking, we're seeing, you know, it's light now, which is nice, so it's not just total pitch darkness. We're using radar to keep an eye out for squall activity. Here's one up here that's kind of moving away from us, so they are out there. But we're doing good speed. You know, we're doing up near 8 knots. So Talisman really does like this kind of wind, months wind. And so if we can keep this is what we get all day long, 20 to 25 knot winds, which is what was projected on the weather forecast. In this case, we used windy, shore-based windy app, and also predict wind. And they both kind of say the same thing. I think the source information is the same for both models. But anyway, things are looking good so far. Still have our tricolor on. It's kind of dawn at the moment, so we haven't really turned it off yet. It's picked up to 26, 27 knots apparent, and we're in deeper water. We're in almost 600 meters of water now, being shallow, and it's had an effect on the sea state. The waves aren't as big and choppy as they were, and that's good. That's helping us. Not getting spun as much. We put a bit more headsail out. It's good. It tells us we've got about 8 hours to go. Should get us in around dusk. There's St. Bart's right there to go past it. We're hoping that they don't send somebody out and gives a hard time the way the BVI did. I mean, talk about stupid. The people from the Coast Guard from the British Virgin Islands went out and tried to give cruisers, boats like $20,000 or $50,000 fines or something for going inside their territorial waters because of COVID, supposedly, but really it was a revenue-raising operation. I'm not so sure where that went. I don't think any of the other islands are stupid enough to do that. I mean, they just burned like 20 years of goodwill with the cruising community over at the BVI. So, but anyway, we do have to go relatively close by St. Bart's in order to get to St. Maarten. I think we'll be about 2 miles offshore at the nearest. So these islands are all pretty close together out here, so it's pretty hard to get any real separation. Anyway, the wind has been great all day. Still getting 7 knots. Seeing 23 apparent. The wave action is a little different now that we're in shallower water. I think it's wrapping around St. Bart's as well.
Inbound, and then they already were waiting in the middle of the